Hi, this is Alex with Maple Leaf Coffee Roasters in Roselle. I'm here today to talk about a new single origin dark roast coffee from Burundi. Check it out. So we've had dark roast African coffee beans on our shelf every once in a while. Generally speaking, we've had a Tanzanian coffee, a pea berry coffee that's always been really popular that we've done as a dark roast. And whenever you take an African coffee as a dark roast, you get some interesting outcomes, things that are a little bit different than what you would experience for a dark roast from any other part of the world except for African coffee beans. We've had Burundi coffees before. We've done them as lights, we've done them as darks. I think most recently we had one about 2 years ago that we did as a light roast that had a nice kind of conventional African flavor profile to it. It's a very signature kind of Burundi taste. Usually Burundi coffees can have a kind of a fruitiness to them, a little bit of an herbal spice kind of feel to it that is very signature African flavor profile, but they always have a little bit more of an apple tone to them in terms of the fruity forward kind of flavor profile if you get that kind of taste. And when we had a chance to pull in a coffee from Burundi and we had an open spot on our dark roast shelf, we know that we like these coffees for dark roast flavor profiles because they have a little bit of like a medium body to it with a lot of character, especially for a dark roast. You don't get an overly roasty sort of flavor on this one in general. So this happens to be a wash process coffee from Burundi. Burundi is an interesting place for coffee because it is a bit different, like I said, than the conventional African flavor profile, but it does have a lot of the signature kind of flavor qualities that you see out of other coffees from, say, Tanzania or Ethiopia or even the Congo that we've had before. So let's talk about the flavor on this coffee. We liked the kind of dark chocolate feel on this coffee quite a bit. When you roast an African coffee dark, you do get a very curious kind of spice element to it, one that has sort of a mix of a coriander, cinnamon sort of feel to it. This one specifically has a richer, medium body flavor to it. With that spice flavor in the background, it kind of hits you as you swallow. It's not something you get right on the nose, that spice note, but when you do swallow this, you do get a little bit of a kick to it that is kind of fun. The flavor overall has that kind of, like I said, cinnamon's taste to it, medium body, not something super strong. So it will be something very easy to drink and easy to consume. Nice dry finish on this too. Once you swallow it, it does clear your palate very quickly. So I think for that reason, it's something that's going to be very easy to stomach and drink. Whenever you have a dry finish in a coffee, something that doesn't really linger on your palate for all that long, it is a very easy thing to take multiple sips of and be really happy about it. Nice kind of dark chocolate, a little bit of a hint of an apple flavor in this coffee as well. Very nice full chocolatey flavor on this one too. You're definitely going to notice that you're drinking a dark roast coffee in this, but it's not one of those dark roasts that has a harsh, burned, bitter, or hard to drink kind of flavor. So I'm really looking forward to people who are maybe casually curious about a dark roast coffee, giving this one a shot. If you are a person that normally drinks light roast African flavor profile types of coffees, you'll probably find some really exotic and interesting notes in this one as well that I think are worth giving a shot to. So this will be a coffee that we got 2 bags of. We'll have it for at least about 4 months or so. We'll have it on our dark roast shelf as well. So if you're interested in kind of keeping up with all the other things we got going on at Maple Leaf, make sure to like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see everything that we have coming out in the near future. Hope to catch you next time for another new coffee video. Take care. We didn't do a super dark roast profile on this coffee. It is kind of in the darker roast territory, but it's not going to be something that is like the Indonesian Bali Blue Moon level of dark that we have around the holidays. So I do think that this is going to be a coffee that is going to be a good option for a lot of people who are curious about what a light roast coffee conventionally looks like when it is roasted as a dark roast flavor profile.